So we all know Keith Lee. Keith Lee's like this generation's Gordon Ramsay. He goes on TikTok. He can go anywhere. And if the food's good, you will get business. If the food's bad and the service is bad, then you might get some hate from his fans. But Keith Lee makes it clear that he doesn't want you tearing down any businesses at all if the food or service is bad. So recently, Keith Lee went to 3 different restaurants, and the service, they're all in Atlanta, by the way, and the service, he said, was terrible. You know, he had to wait 4 hours to try to get some food. When he tried walking in, they knew who he was because everyone knows Keith Lee in the restaurant business. So the first 2 restaurants he goes to, Old Lady Gang and Toast on Linux, basically these restaurants, people are waiting hours to even try to go get food in these restaurants, but Keith Lee comes. They notice Keith Lee because, like I said, everyone knows Keith Lee in the restaurant business. So they see Keith Lee, they're like, hey, come sit down. Come, you get a table before everyone else. And Keith Lee was not going for that.
They said it was a 2.5 hour wait time. We said, okay, we're going to go somewhere else. While we walked out, the entire staff walked out behind us. They attempted to implore us to stay and said that we can sit down immediately. Again, I'm not the target audience for that.
So then he goes to the Real Milk and Honey, the last restaurant he talked about, and they tell him that they're closed for a deep cleaning and all this and that they're not serving anyone. But then they know that it's Keith Lee. They're like, okay, never mind. Come eat. And then Keith Lee's like, no, I'm not doing that because you wouldn't do that for anyone else.
I stayed in the car and my family went in and they told them they were closed early for deep cleaning. Yet the door's wide open and it's people still going in and grabbing their orders. For the record, afterwards, I did walk in and they did recognize me and they attended the services, but I respectfully declined. I'm a normal person. I pay for my food like everybody else. I walk in spots like everybody else.
So obviously he posts this to his TikTok, and these restaurants, I mean, they get tore down. I mean, you just don't see cars in the parking lot no more at these restaurants, man, after Keith Lee makes these videos. But if it's good service and good food, then it's packed. See, Keith Lee doesn't only say bad things about restaurants. I barely see him say anything bad about restaurants. Usually it's good things and, you know, restaurants thriving in their business because Keith Lee gave them a good review. But this time, you know, it was bad service and now they're getting bad reviews. But Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, who should be a Hall of Famer, but that's a different topic. He had something to say about all this.
I don't like the fact of what he's doing.
Ocho,
I don't like. I don't like.
Ocho.
I don't like the critiquing of our restaurants and having people and talking bad about our goddamn businesses and
Ocho.
like, dude, you know how hard it is.
And I get it.
So basically, Chad Johnson, he's mad at Keith Lee for being an honest food critic, which you should be honest if you are a food critic. You shouldn't just beat around the bush. You should just say it how it is. But Chad Johnson thinks that Keith Lee should just, every restaurant he goes to, give it a good review, say the service is good so that they don't get tore down. But that's not what food critics do. But then Chad Johnson says, how is he a food critic? What are his qualifications?
And give people, that's what he is. He's a food critic. He's turned himself into a food critic. It's okay.
Are we turning something? Resume? What are the qualifications of being a food critic?
Now, considering the millions of followers Keith Lee has and the impact he has on every business he eats at, I mean, it doesn't look like he doesn't really need any qualifications for being a food critic. Now, I'm almost positive that Chad Johnson only saw these reviews and none of the other Keith Lee reviews to where he literally changes business owners' lives. But, you know, with all good comes some bad. Not everything could be good in the restaurant business.
Gordon Ramsay is the only food critic I know.
Ocho, you see?
That's
now
what he does.
Now you're doing what athletes do.
That's what he does. So what makes you a goddamn food critic? Oh, because you have a platform? Because you got social media?
I just think Ocho's being a little stubborn here. I mean, Keith Lee's literally just doing his job. His job is to not kiss the ass of every restaurant he goes into.
I mean, that's just me.
I'm
thinking from a business standpoint, how hard it is for people to build. Just that's bullshit, man.
Now I can see where Chad's coming from. You know, you could feel bad for someone that's losing some business, but it's not completely over for these restaurant owners. It's not like they're just gonna lose their business. Not everyone knows who Keith Lee is, all right? Now you're acting like everyone in the world knows who this guy is. They're still going to get business and they can improve from what they messed up on before. And Keith Lee actually responded to Mr. Ocho Cinco himself, and he has some things to say.
Let's talk about it. First, I want to say God bless you and I respect your opinion. Your opinion is just as valuable as the next person. To me, it seems like you have no idea who I am. And again, that's okay with me. But then in return, I want to ask you, what are your qualifications to have this firm stance on this topic?
Now, Shannon Sharp and Ocho started up this channel called Nightcap. I love watching it. But, you know, they gained a massive amount of subscribers really quickly, and they talk about all topics going on in the world, not just sports, everything. And I mean, Keith Lee does have a point. If Ocho wants to say, what are your qualifications for critiquing food? Then, I mean, Keith Lee could perfectly just say, what are your qualifications for talking about media? And what are my qualifications for talking about the Keith Lee and Chad Johnson beef? I don't have any.
Why is this your first time speaking on me? We've been blessed enough to raise over $40,000 for a restaurant owner who has cancer. We've been blessed enough to be used as a vessel to retire a teacher in less than 24 hours. We've been blessed enough to be a part of keeping multiple restaurants doors open. And all of this within the span of 10 months.
I mean, you guys get it. Keith Lee, good guy. really good guy. I mean, Chad Johnson, I think he should just do a little more research on people before, you know, just coming out with these crazy claims about him.
You said I should only get positive reviews. The reason I don't believe that'll work because it'd be inauthentic.
You know what? If you have a large platform of that magnitude, you shouldn't be saying nothing bad. You should be praising all my restaurants.
Nah, hell no. No, you and I gonna disagree with that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to have to agree with Shannon Sharpe here. I mean, that's his literal job is to be a food critic, and people love him because he is real. He doesn't say anything fake. He's not fake. He's a real, authentic food critic. I don't think Chad Johnson gets that, though. But yeah, that's really it for Keith Lee and Chad Johnson. I mean, Keith Lee's going to still keep doing what he's doing. I just think Chad Johnson got to see the bigger picture with all this. But if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like. And I know I usually have my camera on for most videos, but I'm actually waiting on a new webcam. But if you guys want more videos like this with less face and more like videos with commentary without my face, then let me know. I won't buy a camera at all. I'll just return it back if you want more videos like this. But I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
None of them up, none of them stuck. Ain't no more love. Cares in my ear, but I could have bought a truck. I had to cook the dope up on the